Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How is everybody doing today?
Hello, hello.
Um,
Sorry, I'm stalling for time while I get the notes organized. But everyone doing good?
Yeah, no complaints here. How about you?
Doing great. Yeah, getting hyped for KubeCon.
Agreed.
Yeah. Um. Awesome. I think we can go ahead and get started. People can join as they join. And yeah, looks like we have a small group today, so we can just get to it. So hi everyone, this is just a reminder that this meeting is being recorded and will be posted to LFX and YouTube shortly after. Your participation in these meetings is an agreement to abide by the Cloud Native Security Code of Conduct, which can be found in the repo. I think it's the TOC repo. I need at least one person to volunteer as a scribe to ensure stuff gets recorded for folks who can't make it today. Anyone willing to volunteer? Eddie's not, so okay. Okay, thanks, Brett. For existing members and working group reps, make sure to mention your organization and if you have any updates, so that we can make sure that we get to those. Very cool. So I think that, well, I guess we have new member intros and then we have community demo. So we'll do that first. If anyone here is new and wants to say hi, I'll give 30 seconds for folks to speak up. Anyone wants to say hi?
Hi, I'm Hannah Braswell. I work at Red Hat with Jen Power. We're on the same team, working on compliance automation, and mostly have worked with Oscal and um, Jamara as of lately. And I'm joining because I tried to join a couple times, but my computer was not working. But
Oh no.
I'm excited to be kind of like a fly on the wall for the moment. But I'm also interested in working the tag security and compliance booth, like wherever necessary at KubeCon, because I'm speaking with Jan Power.
Oh, very cool. Well, welcome. I'm glad you can make it this time. And yeah, we'll chat more about the booth probably in a second. So definitely excited to get folks to help with that. So
Cool,
welcome.
thanks.
Anyone else new today? Wants to say hi? Awesome. So next up on the agenda, I'm gonna put the link actually in the chat too in case anyone didn't see that on the calendar. Where is the chat? Is a community demo, which I think was scheduled to be Evan who talking about the OpenSSF what's it called? Baseline project, but he's not here today. So I'm assuming that's gonna be postponed unless anyone else wants to give a baseline update
I
on
mean,
his behalf. I'm looking at you, Eddie, but
yeah, I mean, I can do that, sure. Um, yeah, so Baseline's a fun little adventure that we've been on. It started with us, and ideas kicked around in this group, just like a lot of things that end up over in OpenSSF. And one of the key factors behind that was just needing to have community driven standards and definition of good that can inform security scanners, things like Scorecard, Minder, other stuff, right? LFX Insights, Clo Monitor, because it had all been very ad hoc and spread out. So let me go ahead and you're gonna quickly see by looking at my battery levels what I was about to be doing. I was about to walk off and charge my battery. Um, but nope, 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 nope. Let's grab a little. Yeah, so we can go to baseline.openssf.org, assuming. Oh my gosh. I am gonna have to go off and figure out my technical details here. Baseline. There we go. So, cool little community maintained website here. It is all maintained from a single repo. You can find the repo on the maintenance tab, I think.
It's usually at the bottom.
I know it is. It's not. The links aren't working right now. I'm gonna blame myself for this. So it's security baseline is where it comes from. So we're here. So we can find this. So the website's maintained in here by the community. The standards are maintained. The release pipeline is all in there. And you'll notice that we don't do GitHub releases for this. We do it through this website. So okay, I'm starting to doubt my sanity here. I'm triple clicking to get these links to work. Yeah, so inside of the baseline, you can see that there are divisions between the actual assessment requirements. So we have objectives that are true for everybody, but when it comes to writing tests and like really getting in the weeds, there's these assessment requirements that tell you exactly what to do. And these are organized based on maturity levels. This is following the Jamara philosophy that you have a control with multiple assessment requirements, and assessment requirements are only applicable for certain conditions. So in here, we see if you have anything that is level 1 project in CNCF, that would be a sandbox, right? It's code, it could be non-code, it has any number of maintainers, any number of users. We are restricting it to code when we continue the conversation, because the higher level standards are very much focused on delivering software. But that lowest standard is true for anybody who's putting a project in a repo and sharing it with the world. And you can navigate it all on here by just kind of jumping around. You can get like all of the control objective requirements, and even some recommendations that are all provided by the community. And I'm emphasizing provided by the community at every single turn, because this is advocated for by the CNCF staff and other folks, but it's actually the content, all of the content, all the delivery mechanisms. This set of typos that is currently on my version of the website, where it's not rendering links from the template properly, this is all from non-Linux Foundation staff. Where it gets handed off into LFX world, Linux Foundation world, is in the LFX platform. So over here, you can pull up just insights.linuxfoundation.org and go to any project. Kubernetes is, the big go-to one, and you can click on it. It's a little bit redundant here. This is the overview page for security and best practices, and you can just see that there are summary results here. You can drill in and oh, it really is my browser. Something's wonky with my needing to click links here. So you can kind of see how each one is performing on these quality scores for each repo that's included. You can kind of just quick view this kind of information. And there is an action available on this scanner. There's kind of information about how it's run, how this scanner is used to back the Insights platform. And so you are able to add this to your own repo and hook it up. We're working on getting it to do Serif results so that it feeds up to your security tab, but that's pending. That's work in progress. And really, just at the end of the day, the goal is to help people agree on best practices, so that way we can then open up evaluation opportunities. By baseline, the entire focus is separating the conversation around what is the definition of good, to have it as a specific standalone conversation. So then we can have a separate follow-on conversation about how we measure, how we score, what we do with those scores, things like that. Can be follow-on conversations that are segmented from each other, but related. And that's baseline. There you go.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Any questions on that before we move on? Great.
So with the automation that you have for performing those assessments, is there a future where you see this like it already kind of is, but synonymous with like the state of policy today, where like you could allow different tooling to come in and assess the requirements and then overlay that into the results accordingly?
Yeah. So now we're getting into Jamara philosophy, which is the other project that came out of this your automated governance work, kind of resulted in us building out Jamara, right? So the idea there, the philosophy there, is that you could write an evaluation plan, and in there, similar to an OSCAL system security plan, you could state, like, we're going to do these as manual assessments. We're going to do these with security scanner number one. We're going to do these with security scanner number two. And that would define how you're going to go about doing your assessments and evaluations. And then I don't remember exactly where we aligned on the logging of multi-source plans.
Mm.
But absolutely, that's something that I think Hannah's contributed to. Jen's been leading the effort on kind of capturing like, well, what do we do with that? What do we do with that case? And as that matures and we develop tooling around that, the expectation, the expected outcome is that something using LFX Insights as an example user, something on LFX Insights should be able to maybe even just have like two tabs where it's like, oh yeah, we ran this. Here's the results from that scanner. Here's the results from that scanner, or weight them. They'd be able to kind of manipulate the data and present it however they like. Philosophically, yes to everything you said. Practically in present state, no. Philosophically, yeah, that is absolutely the direction that we are moving toward on outcomes.
Okay, interesting. I think that sounds wonderful. I feel like there's this age-old problem with the current state of like these not scoring, because I know scoring sometimes leads the conversation in a direction that we don't want to go, but like evaluation processes where for LFX Insights, a lot of it is the assessment process is all dictated in a centralized location. And so you run the thing and it gives you your results. And I think there's a pro in there that is the developers have to do nothing, right? And I think that that's great because you can like provide developers and their projects with here's some information, do with it what you will. If you want to gamify it, awesome. We want to improve our scores, cool. But I think that there's this other problem, and I've been trying to like battle in my brain with it a little bit because people sometimes refute it, which is like, what if somebody kind of wants to self-attest and they want to say, hey, the current scanning process doesn't meet my needs for X, Y, and Z. I'm going to kind of like similar to maybe some of the insights work currently, as opposed to me scanning your project and generating an SBOM. What if you provided me with your SBOM? Like in the same way, should we be building a system that allows people to say, hey, here are the ways with which I've evaluated all this criteria, the documentation, the manual stuff, as well as the automated stuff. And how do those coexist? I think is really tough. I don't know that there's an answer to any of that, but it's a tough space.
Yeah, I know. I've been neglecting that conversation. So if you're feeling energetic about it, go over to the Jamara repo. Like we need more people who have energy on that. And Jen, for sure, as the lead maintainer for Jamara, needs more people who, even if it's just bursts of energy, where you're like, it's Wednesday, my dudes. I'm gonna go drop comments over here. I know it would be very helpful and welcome.
Great. moving on, we have the review of other time zone meetings. So there was an APAC meeting since we had the last of these meetings. It looks like there was a bit of work done in triage, but otherwise it looked like mostly kind of, cycling back from that. If anyone who's here was either there or watched the recording and has other updates from that, feel free to jump in now. But we'll probably see the other updates as we go through the rest of the agenda. So. Cool. TOC meeting updates. I think there wasn't a TOC meeting this week, although the TOC has been making record time in going through project graduation applications. So that's very exciting for anyone who has a project. So congrats if anyone's involved in any of those projects. Very exciting stuff for them. Yeah, I think that was all from the TOC. Does anyone else have anything TOC related that there's an update about?
We're still waiting back. Jen asked some questions. I think Hannah piled on this week about what's the initiative called, Hannah? Do you
Oh,
remember?
it's for the cloud native security controls catalog. Instead of having it in a spreadsheet, documenting it in Jamar and having like a machine readable format of it.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. What's the status there then?
Pending response about what the TOC will expect prior to doing work.
That sounds like a great idea. Yes, we want to make sure we have expectations. Yeah, so I guess we can follow up on that offline. I mean, I guess the TOC is in their KubeCon freeze, so they might not get back to us. But yeah, and if not by then, we can maybe achieve some clarity on this at KubeCon. So that might be a good one for if anyone here happens to run into TOC members at KubeCon. So, cool. Any other TOC related things? I don't want to rush past it, but. Next up we have project updates. I didn't see anyone have an update listed in their sign in, but if anyone has one before I go down the list, feel free to jump in.
Oh, I guess I have a little bit. It's kind of an odd one because every time I talk to Krobe, or like the last 2 times that I saw him in person for sure, he was mentioning the idea of like how helpful it would be to do something at the next KubeCon, like the 2026 KubeCons, around supporting project adoption of baseline. And I told him like we had good response with that initially in the Security Slam, and we do know what the next steps need to be for the Security Slam, but we don't have volunteers. Krobe's response was like OpenSF might have staff allocation, like might be able to assign TPMs and stuff to just like help with that. But obviously the tag would need to do the logistic planning, coordination, the CNCF side of it. Now the reason that I say that it's a weird conversation is that I asked him to reach out to the tag chairs, and he's just kind of like grunted at that point, and I don't think he ever did reach out to the tag chairs. So it might be an opportunity that we could take advantage of, but I think it's going to be in our court to decide that we want to chase it down.
It does sound exciting because I do think that was the thing that we needed the last time around, was just, people who had, kind of non-volunteers who had more time to help support the process. So in that sense, it sounds really promising. Yeah, I think that we should keep having, what would be so if we're doing this in Europe, the timeline would be, we want to decide like yesterday, and then start getting talking to the organizers, getting the space and all that stuff. Versus if we wanted to do wherever they're doing North America next year, we have a couple of months to kind of get organized.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah, Europe is in March.
A little bit, but I mean, it's a crunch if it's, the more people, the better you can crunch, right? Because
but like we just literally can't get the space at KubeCon if we don't ask for it soon.
For Europe, yeah, that's a good point. So I think what we might do is Okay, what I would do if I was you or John or Evan, I think what I would do is I would reach out to Lindsay and ask for 15 minutes at KubeCon. Like, hey, can we do a quick check-in, 15 minutes, want to talk about Security Slam.
Well, for the record, you're allowed to organize stuff too.
I
But
know, I know. I think
but yeah,
it'll
no,
be a
I'm
lot.
happy to help though. I
I
didn't want
think
to.
it'll be a lot easier for you guys. I just think it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to kind of like clear some paths there. Um, and so then from there, like lot be like, okay, cool. I know that I have Lindsay for 15 minutes. Then reach out to Krobe and figure out what's possible. What are the options? What's he thinking? What does he want to accomplish? And then review our previous notes, and that's where, use my brain. And the write-up, right? Because we have like multiple annual reports that we've done on the Security Slam, but we want 60-day lead time for like action before KubeCon. 30 days of making sure projects know we're about to start something, 30 days of supporting projects, and then on site we do an activity such as a ceremony, right? So that's kind of the rough takeaway that we said if we did this again, we'd do something like that. So get on the same page with Krobe, then bring that to Lindsay and say, this is what we've lined up. This is what we want to do. These are the people that we have involved. Can we have the space? And then I think in that 15-minute conversation, Lindsay can get all the information that she needs.
Yeah. I think
And then
what
I
I
think,
want to do before any of that though, before involving other folks, is just make sure that we have the interest in this group to help support it from our end.
Yeah.
So probably I might do like maybe if you or I want to do a Slack post just in the tag security Slack or tag security compliance Slack, and just see who's interested in this kind of thing, who would maybe be involved.
Yeah.
Because I think if it's like if no one wants to be involved, then I don't think I'm not going to do all the other work to.
No, yeah, I'm definitely. I just, yeah, I'm burnt out on coordinating with CNCF. Like I'm just, there's a few people like Rion who are extremely pleasant to work with. Lindsay's very pleasant to work with, but I'm just like right now I'm just a little burnt out.
No, like I said, I'm happy to help with coordination. I just want to make sure that we have the interest in stuff before, because just before
Yeah.
getting all these other people to spend time on it,
Yeah. Well, you got me. I'm interested. I can help with the project support, awareness. If we do something like the award ceremony that we did in the previous years, happy to coordinate or organize that, do the project coordination, that kind of stuff. Anything project facing, you got me. I'm there.
Yeah, and maybe we can open an issue as well. Whether or not we do it, actually, it might be nice to have an issue.
Oh, yeah, track
in
why
case
we
people
did
are
or
just
didn't.
tracking this work so that folks
Yeah.
know. Is John volunteering as well? Yes, there you go, John. We have 2 people. Now we can do it.
Nice.
I don't know if you know what you volunteered for, John, but you're in it now. Awesome. Yeah, so it sounds like we have some next steps there. Get some interest in Slack / GitHub, and then start coordinating with CNCF and OpenSSF folks. This is baseline, by the way, John, in case you actually didn't know what we were talking about.
Slam.
Cool. Any other project updates? Oh, great, Hannah too. Yeah, it sounds like we do have interest even without me doing the Slack. This is good. So
Yeah.
again,
And
I just want to make sure that before we do it, all those people interested. So
if we can divide responsibilities, what I think if Marina, you or somebody else can do the kind of like top down coordination, and I'll do the project facing coordination, I think that'd be a good way to just like make sure that it's easy on.
Yeah, I think I'll want somebody's help on that just because of so I have some travel and stuff coming up, so I don't want to make the timeline long. But otherwise, yeah, happy to help with that.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I can start setting it up, and then again, if I'm gone, I'll just make sure somebody's there. So cool. So I'll reach out to Lindsay first, and then see where that goes. And we'll kind of see which KubeCon it'll make more sense for. I think she'll know better what the timelines there are. Yeah. Any other project updates? I think is there any updates on the supply chain project, or there's like an AI agent security white paper, I believe, as well underway.
Yeah, the MCP
That's
authorization
the one.
is kind of stuck in scheduling limbo. There's a lot of folks from very disparate geographic regions trying to come together. They started some work async in the channel. There's a Google Doc now, I think. So once again, I'll ping send a message to all from my previous thread the other week. If you're interested in joining, I can add you to the private channel that exists. It's not private to be exclusive anyway. It's just what folks felt more comfortable with. So
Cool. Yeah. And I think that I've seen some chatter in that channel, so it seems like it's just slowly making progress on the scheduling organization stuff. So great. Any other updates before I do a quick triage of current issues? See if I can. It's like wanting to. There it is. Okay, apparently I can only share the whole screen, so I'm gonna do it this way. Can you see that? Is that the correct screen that I'm sharing? Or is this the other one?
I don't think so.
Okay, stop the share. Let's try this again. Is that the correct screen?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Okay. This is the one that's linked from the agenda, the list of current issues. So I guess we can just go through these, and I think that there are issues in other places too, if folks know of them, that we can make sure we hit as well. So this was the controls catalog refresh, which I think we talked about very briefly earlier. Yeah, so there's some interest here. If anyone else is interested, I think this is, it looks like this is a good time to comment and join this effort. So, yeah, I don't think there's any action there. So how do I go back? There it is. Anyway, sorry. MCP server author, that's one that we talked about too just now, that there's a group to join. If you're interested in joining, just let it, John volunteered, so let John know and he can join you to the group, add you to that group. Supply chain security insights, I think this one's also ongoing. I don't think anyone here has been keeping up with that, but I know that they've been making some progress. Anyone here involved in that want to give an update there?
I need to check and see kind of where the current state is. There's a couple smaller line items of work underneath this initiative that kind of are working in parallel to do just more, I'd argue maybe like prototype and discovery work. And so I think a couple different ways of gathering artifacts, generating artifacts, correlating and storing all of that has kind of been in progress. But I missed the last meeting, so there very well could have been changes.
Yeah, we have a security assessment. I think this one is currently, this one's in the backlog. Waiting on the self-assessment. So, or that was a while ago.
Oh,
sorry.
no,
Oh,
Caverno
not
is
the
active.
bottom. This is the bottom.
Caverno is active.
This one's active. Oh yeah, so we're
Yeah.
looking for reviewers now, right? This one's
no. There's a whole, it's going. The
what's
latest,
going on? That's great. Okay, very exciting.
yeah,
So
the
we'll just keep
latest
that
on
open.
that one I can share. I just had that Slack channel open actually.
Yeah.
Is they've been they did an update to their self-assessment, and they brought it over into the joint assessment doc, just kind of like preparing the documents for everybody. And we're going to be entering the naive question phase.
Okay, very cool. IAM, identity access management. I think this white paper is a little bit in limbo right now while we achieve some clarity on the requirements about the length and what to do with the paper. Because I think the current feedback is that it's too long, but I feel like what to do with that is kind of the open question, because like, you know, it seems to be no issues with the content except the length. And so trying to figure out how to either break it up or summarize it or do something to kind of make that more clear and just kind of get that over the finish line. Probably this is another one that we may have some conversations at KubeCon to kind of get that better clarity with the TOC about initiative expectations. So yeah.
Yeah, Yoshiyuki's been keeping that one close to his chest. I'm not sure what the conversations with Karina have been. There
It
was a
sounds
call.
like they haven't happened yet.
Yeah, there was a call yesterday.
Oh, there was, okay.
The standard IM call was yesterday. I just wasn't able to. It was 2 a.m. my time, so I didn't join. But yeah, I think the authors are just trying to figure out like, okay, how are we going to be interacting? What do we want to say? How do we just kind of move forward on next steps? That's definitely something I think the authors are trying to make sure they have their own opinion on. And then yeah, next week, or sorry, KubeCon will be a really good time to get that all played out.
Definitely. Yeah, you know, I hope we can get that finished in some form. So that'll be good. This next one, I'm not really sure why it's on our board. Incubation application for confidential containers. Anyone have insight into why that's on our board? I mean, it's a cool it's a security related project. Glad that they're doing that, but I'm not sure if there's any action items for us. Here.
Is there, I mean, can you see who added the tag?
Let's see. I guess I can dig into it, sorry. These things are so long. And then yeah, looks like
So who added tag security in the first place? Looks like okay. So when
this
it was
was a long
first,
time ago. The process used to be different, right? And now
when it was first opened up, Karina was of the opinion that this was a security project, I suppose.
yeah, well, because at the time I think that the like every project needed a tag assigned, which I think is not true anymore. Because the due diligence is like moved on to the project review subgroup and the TOC.
I haven't been participating in those calls, but it sounds accurate.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, I think I might just remove the tag, and if someone really thinks it should be there, they'll add it back. Does that sound fair to people?
Yes. I
Okay, cool.
second that motion. It's recorded for posterity, so.
I am removing the tag. That if people want us to do something, they can tell us, you know, what it is, and then we'll do it. Okay, great. And last up, we have the supply chain security model. This one I think we were waiting. Yeah, this was just last week. Final reminder for getting a separate shepherd. If anyone here is interested in shepherding this, I think that it's basically just an initiative that needs a champion. So if that's the kind of thing anyone either here or listening to this recording is interested in, yes, let us know. And then otherwise, I think we'll just close this out and reopen it if people have the time in the next couple of weeks. So that's that. So any other current issues that were not linked with us that should be tagged, or from other places that folks have seen before we move on from this section? No, great. I think stuff's finally getting moved into the right places, so that's very exciting. Next up, general stand-up and check-in. I have a quick update here, and then we can move on to if anyone else has updates. The big thing I want to talk about briefly is KubeCon, which is in 2 weeks. KubeCon Atlanta for folks who can make it. Lots of exciting stuff going on with the tag. I think we have a couple presentations related to our group at Maintainer Summit and at the main event. So look forward to that. Should be great. The main thing I want to talk about, though, is we will also have a booth in the Project Pavilion during the main days of the conference. That's Tuesday through Thursday. There's a sign-up sheet, which I'm going to put in chat and in the notes. Let me know if the permissions don't work. I'll fix that in a sec. After I'm done talking. Oh, sorry. I'm interrupting Brant. in the doc. But yeah, so the sign up sheet is there. It we have the booth just in the mornings, and then we kind of share it with another project who gets it for the afternoons. But it's super important that we have folks at the booth while it is ours. And so if anyone wants to help out, all you have to do is know what tag security is and be excited to share that knowledge with other people. So anyone who shows up to this call is probably qualified to help us chat about tag security. So sign up sheet is there. We're hoping to get at least 2 people for each slot so that if people need to step away for a sec, we always have coverage. And if you don't have enough time to sign up for a slot, just come by and say hi. We'll be there in the mornings. Mornings for a rough definition of morning. It's like the first half of the KubeCon day. So yes, that's any other KubeCon updates before we move on to general other updates.
This is borderlining on general. Brent, do you have ambassador codes for for discounts?
I do have ambassador codes.
Could you drop that in chat?
Yes, I'll grab those.
Cool, thanks.
I have a KubeCon update. So we had a great update from all the different tags and all the things they're going to say at KubeCon, and some great collaboration. So I sent out a message yesterday in the leads channel that next week is the next open TOC meeting, and we asked that the people put their final stuff that everybody collaborated just in that issue. And then I think most of that meeting is going to be about what's happening at KubeCon and drive some KubeCon view vibes there.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a good one to listen in on if for folks who are going to be at KubeCon then. So yeah. And that'll be on Tuesday, so we'll give a quick update in this meeting on Wednesday for folks who aren't able to make that. Cool. Anything else that folks want to bring up here? Things happening in security and cloud native in the world?
Shameless plug. I am a maintainer of the Project Zarf, and something that we've been kind of exploring is trying to delve into the domain of offline signature verification. And I think there's a lot of fascinating kind of like findings in there. A lot of things that like Sigstore kind of already supports. A lot of interesting nuances as somebody who is fairly new to kind of the underlying, like, I don't know, domain of signing. Above like the higher level, like cosign, sign, cosign, verify, like the actual underlying implications of what does it mean for things like the Sigstore bundle format and what's in there and what you still need. And that's a really just like super ambiguous way to describe all of that. But I found it like really interesting. I think there's one, lots of opportunities with what exists today, but then two, lots of interesting like findings for how do you do this at scale, and maybe not like hyperscale, but like scale as to the whole like distribution problem. And we have a user group, the public sector user group, who has been building some documentation around, I think, trying to advocate for solving some of these problems. And so there's an interesting overlay here at some point in time for like really trying to capture how to do all of this meaningfully for end users.
Yeah, no, this is an area that I have a lot of thoughts around, because I really do think that, like, signature signing stuff is really just like a very like there's so much more after that, right? Like what does a signature mean is like the philosophical question of the of this, right? Like what does it mean? How do you know that's what it means? Like what is all of that? So yeah, I find this fascinating as well. So
yeah, so it was just more of a random call out.
My favorite thing about Sigstore signatures is that they verify true forever. There's no way to revoke them. So I give a talk with Cairo about how you could integrate RSTUF with those attestations or signatures to be able to essentially revoke them and be able to understand that, which would also work in air-gapped environments. So it was called something along the lines of till death do us part. So
It's funny actually because you can revoke the keys like because of the underlying root trust root. You can revoke like the full CO signing key or whatever, but you can't actually revoke the individual signing keys, which is it's kind of interesting.
and I don't want to revoke my identity. I would like to continue being John for some indefinite amount of time.
I guess is that how you did it? It looks like rather than revoking the identity, it's like revoking what the identity can sign. Is that the idea?
Yeah, because it would be signed by, GitHub or
Yeah.
a human, and we kind of need to trust each of those things beyond one mistake that could have been made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting space. Anyway, yeah, I think we do have a community demo scheduled for next week, if I remember correctly. So that's already done. Next thing on here, and then where I scrolled too far. Yeah, so that's everything on the agenda. Anyway, if I'll give like 30 more seconds in case anyone has any last thoughts. Otherwise, posting it 15 minutes back to get a cup of tea or whatever your caffeine of choice is. I'm watching my watch. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to think of things.
Brian, did you get those codes or a code?
I dropped one into the meeting document.
Oh, in the meeting doc. Okay. Sunil, did you see that?
That
Awesome.
one should be 15%.
Thank you. Agree. Yeah.
I feel like I may have seen another one that's better than that. So I'll keep looking around.
Thanks, Brian. I'll ping you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great week and see you all next time.
Thanks for hosting, Marina.
Bye. Thank you.